Good afternoon, Stephen. Thank you so much for making time for us. Hope you've been keeping well.
Salam alaikum. I'm fine, thank you.
Walaikum assalam. Looks like you've caught up with the local language as well. It's been great to have you in with the Pakistan team. Please, first of all, tell us about that historic day, this recent Tuesday, which just went past by, the first win for Pakistan in the qualifiers. From the start till the end, what were the scenes like? There were so many variables at play. The stakes were so high. What did you see as a coach from the start till the end?
You mean from the start of the training camp, or it's going to be a monologue of me talking? Are you sure you want that?
Just that day, and then we'll get to how you turned the team around as well.
Okay. Look, I think it's very difficult when you're working with national teams, especially when you have players who come in 1-2 days before, and they are expected to play and show their abilities after traveling halfway around the world, tired, delays on planes and what have you. And then the other half of the boys who are not playing in what I would call any sort of professional league. So you could say they're part-time in Pakistan, and then try to get them all to play together and not hate each other, if I can say that, because there was a bit of tension between the locals and the diaspora players, and that happens all over the world. By the way, that's not just a thing for Pakistan, but I think the atmosphere that we created, the time that we spent talking with the players, more so with the locally based players, obviously, because I had 7-8 straight days with them, and I think the response has been unbelievable. That's not a word I use often, but I have said it several times over the last few days in connection with this fantastic result that the boys pulled together. So it was an unbelievable day.
And I almost feel that the way you're using that word as well. And one of your recent interviews, you mentioned you've never seen so many grown-up men crying at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I know the NC president, Harun Malik, was in bits after the game. Obviously, I would never have believed it until I actually saw it. But really, it just goes to show that football is more than just a game for us. If anybody thought that football in Pakistan was dead, they are absolutely wrong. And that was clear, I think, by the spontaneous reaction that you had from men, women, and children that were at the game.
Absolutely. I don't think people within Pakistan were expecting such a big turnout at the stadium itself. So that was a wonderful occasion for everyone present over there and people watching on TV. And hopefully this can be a good start for many better things to come. And you mentioned a very important point about the diaspora players and local players coming together and there being tension as well. So how are you able to diffuse that tension and bring the entire team together?
It's what I do. I am maybe not the most diplomatic person in the world. What you see is what you get. I will tell you what I think. Maybe I will tell you what I think even if you don't ask me. But it's not out of malice. And the way I will speak to you, and I may have a solution for you. I may be able to tell you why you're not scoring as many goals, or why you're not doing this or that. But I can't do the work for you. And I spent a lot of time with all the players, as much time as I possibly can with the diaspora players. Obviously, we didn't have too much time, but with the local boys. And I said, look, if you want to be where they are, then you need to up your game. The problem for them is they have no games, and this is the big difference. One of the big difference is from when I went to India in 2015, And when I went to Pakistan in 2023, they had a league. We don't. And so our boys, our local boys, desperately need a league, desperately need consistent games. And when you consider that most of them have not played more than 5-10 proper games, that they were able to compete with Cambodia, who have a league, have proper stadiums, have proper facilities, is nothing short of a miracle. And I think credit to them for being able to play this way.
Absolutely. Unbelievable what we saw on Tuesday. And like I said earlier, hopefully this can only be a stepping stone for better things to come. So Stephan, please tell us what convinced you to take this role with the Pakistan Football Federation? And are you happy with taking this role on?
Look, I've learned in this business that you never plan, or your plans never go to plan. I had a couple of maybes in the last few months that it didn't happen. When I spoke to Harun Bhai and Saud, the sense of they wanted me to come was really good. I had a good feeling about them as people. Obviously, the situation in Pakistan is not ideal at all. But I felt, okay, at the moment, I'm available. I would prefer to be on a pitch any day of the week than sitting at home doing nothing. And so the opportunity came to take these 2 games. I thought, you know what, I'm going to go win those 2 games and see what happens. Unfortunately, I didn't win both games, but I'll take the 1-0 win in Islamabad any day. So that was my mindset. Rather be working than not.
Okay, great. So what's the current status with you and the PFF? Are both of you planning on continuing the relationship?
Look, the current status is that my contract was up until the 20th of October. As per FIFA guidelines, don't forget that the NC does not decide exactly what happens, and we know the reasons why. So they obviously will need to get the permission from FIFA. Then they will need to decide what that length or term of contract will be, because obviously they cannot give me more than the term that they have. And then, Tamish, I have to sit down and think, okay, I'm being offered a short-term contract. And if somebody offers me a long-term contract, then I have a decision to make. So it's kind of that. Would I like to continue? Yes, but for me there are quite a few buts that need to be addressed, because, like I said, the difference with India is that there was a league and the players were playing; they were getting games. We are not in a position at the moment to call 24 diaspora players. And I hope that never comes, because I think you want your local players to represent their national team. Not that the other guys are not representing the national team, but it's like when you're at club level, you want to produce some local players besides all the superstars that you're buying, if you have that money. It means more to the community to see that. And like I said, I think we had 4 or 5 out of the 11 started, which was great. But going forward, that might change. So okay. I answered your question, kind of.
That's right. I totally understand where you're coming from as well. But please do know, if you don't know already, that you have, in such a short time, gained a cult status hero of Pakistan football, and everyone would like to see you here to stay on with the national team. But of course, you have your choices to make and for things to work in the favor as well. So we totally understand that. And so you mentioned, of course, you've been part of the Indian setup as well and other teams in this region. Given the fact we don't have a league, players also diaspora players come and partake in these competitions as well, in which Pakistan teams needs to play. Whatever talent you've seen, how do you rate these guys from Pakistan amongst their peers from this region?
Look, I think what's the best way to describe it? It's raw, and the biggest problem, and this is for most of Asia, is that they do not have the foundation. If you are not technically gifted, as Arsene Wenger would say, by the age of 14, you're not going to play to any great level. And so who is teaching our boys and girls in Pakistan how to play football? I know we have coaches, but I'm pretty sure that half the coaches that we have do not have the information or have not been given the information that they should have in order to coach young players. We have a population, correct me if I'm wrong, 240 million last count. Yeah. We cannot go to the SAF and not win it, or at least not go to the final and face India. We cannot not produce players and see other nations smaller than us produce. And I use this analogy a lot, not for Asia, but in general. How is it possible that Iceland, with a population of 300,000, go to the World Cup, beat England, go to the Euros, and have approximately 100 players playing in other European leagues? And we don't. So it's not about the population. It's about the discipline. It's about the culture. And it's definitely about learning and not age cheating, which I know we do quite a bit, generally in Asia, especially in Southeast Asia. And then we wonder why we don't produce any players. It's not rocket science. We just need to decide, what do we want to do? Do we actually want to do it? It's going to take us a bit of time, 5, 10, 15 years. But at the end of that 10, 15 years, you're going to have a pool of players, both girls and boys, who are going to be able to go on and represent Pakistan in the Olympics and in the SAF, in the Asian Games, in the World Cup. Well, maybe not World Cup at the moment, but at least in the Asian Cup. And like I said, if there are so many other countries that can do this, why can't we? The we is because we are not doing the right things.
I have to agree with you with that, Stephan, and I really appreciate the way you've been candid with us and so honest with us. And like you said yourself, non-diplomatic. And I know I've taken a lot of your time. So, towards the end, as you mentioned, Arsene Wenger, I can see a Thierry Henry jersey right behind you, which makes me assume that you're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, listen, you should have done your research, my friend. Yeah, I am big-time Arsenal fan.
So how do you see them? Do you see Arsenal doing one better this season, or again, they'll find some tough competition from Manchester City and maybe even Spurs this time around?
Well, yeah, hopefully not Spurs, but look, I think Manchester City is a well-oiled machine. They have spent a lot of money, but Pep is a master at what he does, and he gets the best out of 24, 25 multimillionaires, and that is not easy on any given day. I remember thinking last year when we were 8 or 9 points, we're going to blow this. I could feel it, and we did in the end, I think. But again, I think I wasn't a great Arteta fan to begin with, but hats off to the man. He really has managed to get Arsenal playing the way they should be, the way they were under Wenger. He's put his own stamp on that. And I think with the signings that they made this year, they are more mature. They have suffered. They suffered last year. The last 10, 12 games, they suffered. And I think when you suffer in your life, you learn. And hopefully they've learned enough where they're going to take it. And they've beaten City twice this season already. And I'm really optimistic that Premier League's coming home.
Finally. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah, I'm sorry I forgot.
Perfect. Stephan, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we wish you the very best in life. And hopefully some good things work out for you in Pakistan, and we get to see you again amongst us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.